send me flowers, you can tattoo my name, or write poetry for hours, but nothing can compare to what your soul did share.
Hi, welcome to another episode of What's Up with DJ, and my name is DJ. Each week I bring you topics about current events, career development, holistic living, life hacks, and stories of inspiration and humor. So be sure to subscribe, like, comment, and review the show on Apple Podcast. Your comments are always appreciated. My guest this week is Kristine Grant. She has many talents and wears many hats. She is an inspirational keynote speaker, marriage and family therapist, and real life female Cyrano de Bergerac. Anyway, it was a movie back in the day with Steve Martin, and it was called Roxanne. We'll get exactly into what that means during our conversation. Kristine is a singer and songwriter. Her debut album, Love Letters, was released earlier this year under her pseudonymous name, Tina Rose, available on all digital platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, all those places. She is also an award-winning author of a book called Relationshift: How to Write the Words You Really Want to Say, which is an in-depth exploration of the true magic and power of how written words or even thoughtful conversations can influence and sort out any relationship matter with anyone. As a relationship expert, Kristine helps her clients find the right words for what they really want to say to better resolve any matter of the heart. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, DJ, thank you. I feel honored to be on your amazing show. Thank you.
Yes, I've got through that introduction quite sure I'm going to have to probably re-record it or do a lot of editing to get it to sound correct. But I'm just glad that you're here. And we had a wonderful conversation earlier a couple of weeks ago. And I think it was like 3 hours, but it's like 30 minutes.
I know. Gosh, when two old souls connect, you just never know. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. I've been told I'm an old soul, and I definitely feel that from you as well. And the song that you just heard, the intro song, was from your album, Love Letters. It's the title cut, Love Letters. And I just love it. We was actually talking a little bit about that song when we first started talking. And you said that it was actually what you're hearing. When you hear the song, you're hearing one take.
Right. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. As we've talked, and I'll share with your audience, I am like a, quote, Cyrano de Bergerac, which was an old historical play written by a German man. What was his name? Anyway, Reinstock, who knows? But anyway, it's the story of a man who did not consider himself to be very attractive and fell in love with this gorgeous woman. And her handsome suitor was not so great with the personality piece and relied on Cyrano to provide those love letters that he sent to the woman. And this is back in, the 1800s. And she fell in love with the handsome guy, not because of his looks, but because of the energy provided within those letters, those beautiful messages. So in a sense, what I do is I tap into someone's higher heart. And often we're not as confident in expressing what we feel on a very deep level with another. It may be intimidating, or we may even be on the defensive if you're having a falling out with someone, or there might be lots of history. But I leap over all of that, tap into what I call their higher heart,
Mm-hmm. I like that high heart.
Yeah, it's not just like getting, oh my gosh, emotionally, anxiety, blah, blah, blah. No, it's, or the analytical. Well, no, we go into what's the wisdom of the soul, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So through this kind of letter writing, which I've been doing for gazillions of years, it seems, actually 17, which is a good many years. And prior to that, I wrote a book for children's empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
And when I wrote that, I traveled around the United States speaking at national conferences because I loved children so much. And my own daughter was being bullied in school.
Yeah.
So I'm not getting off track. This does all come together. So,
but that movie, it was actually, that movie, that was a movie some years ago named Roxanne with Steve Martin. And it was sort of an updated version of that, what she does. That's a good movie to go back and look at with Steve Martin, called Roxanne.
Yes, Roxanne. It was kind of a cute romantic comedy written on the Cyrano de Bergerac theme. It was like a modern day version of that story, play. And perhaps some of the listeners or the audience can recall in 2012 an Academy Award winning movie with Joaquin Phoenix and Charlotte Johansson, and it's called Her, capital H, capital E, capital R. And that story or that movie rather, is based on the playwright's idea of what happens in the future. So this is back in 2012, which is 9 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And in that futuristic film, people had sort of lost their ability to truly communicate and express from the heart. They were relying a great deal on artificial intelligence. Wow. I guess we are getting there, the land of emojis and quick blip messages.
Mm-hmm.
So Joaquin, he's the hero in the movie or the star of the film. And what does he do for a living? He goes to this high-rise tower in Los Angeles, and he's in a cubicle along with several other employees. And their job is to ghostwrite emotional, meaningful letters for others. My phone was ringing off the hook. And I'm like, wait a second, I've been doing this since 2004. There is nothing futuristic.
Mm-hmm.
It's right here and right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love that when you say that we lost the art of writing a love letter.
And you know what? If you received a love letter, would you just go, oh, that touched my heart and my soul, I think I'm going to toss it away?
No, I still have letters that people have written me. It may not be a romantic letter, but it's something about a handwritten letter. You don't often get a handwritten letter. So when someone actually takes the time to put pen to paper, it's something different.
Yeah. And even if somebody uses the computer to write the letter, and then they print it out and sign it and put it in a pretty card or just send it to you or hand it to you, that's okay too. Even today in schools, they're no longer teaching penmanship.
No, they don't.
I mean, to me, that's amazing, because I think someone's signature is part of their essence in a way.
Yeah. Right.
I'm going to loop around and back to when I started talking about the children's program, because children, I think, more so than ever, really need the support for building healthy, positive self-concept, social skills, character, emotional intelligence, and all of that. And there's been so much bullying, and in such a divisive place where we are right now, it only exacerbates that when kids are cyber bullied and such, in addition. So anyway, I'll just briefly mention, so I created this empowerment program for kids after my daughter was terribly bullied by mean girls, and it broke my heart to see her tender heart being hurt so badly. And I ended up going around the United States lecturing on self-empowerment for children, because even whether you're the bully or the bystander or the target, and that holds true for any conflict at any age that might be going on in the planet now, it's a power struggle. So the person that's being the mean guy or girl and is the bully, they bully to compensate for their insecurities. We can get way off on a conversation on that. What is
bullying
greed?
What's
greed about? I'll never have enough.
Yeah.
What's jealousy about? Why does that person have that and I don't? What's wrong with me? I mean, it's all based on poor self-concept, bottom line.
So a lot of times when I've been in grade school and I've been bullied, but what I felt was that kid was bullying me. That was a learned behavior from watching the people around them, and maybe usually the biggest bullies have older siblings and they're getting bullied, or they're watching their parents, be bullies, and they're sort of pick up those behaviors from those people they're watching.
DJ, you're so right on, because our parents are our biggest teachers, most powerful teachers. Those first years of our lives is where we get to decide, or we formulate an opinion whether the world's a safe place to be, and how do we problem solve. And if our parents are bullies, or if there is a bully in the house, or if they shut down and don't communicate at all, or they are analytical and they don't speak from the heart, or whatever the case may be, the child gets conditioned and programmed to, okay, this is how you get your needs met, by acting or saying this, or not acting or saying that. So at any rate, I ended up writing this program for children, and my daughter and I created an oracle, so a little card deck with our paintings. And
I saw that.
Oh, okay. And so anyway, I went around the United States and I really enjoyed it. I felt like I was inspiring teachers and educators and parents and churches and whatever to help kids in this way. And then I thought to myself one day, oh my gosh, how can I improve my public speaking presence? How can I deliver my messages with more ease and grace and inspire people even more? Because it's kind of nerve-wracking to get in front of a room of hundreds of people and they're all focused on you and you're on a stage.
Yeah.
So I thought, gee, like bungee cord jumping, or I don't know, hang gliding, parachuting. Wow, what about singing in front of people? Oh my God, that would be so freaking scary. So
that scares me. Yeah.
So I went home and I discovered this Finding Your Voice group singing program, and started singing. And it was truly a therapy. I think the voice is another pathway to our essence again. There's no two voices alike, just as there is no two signatures or fingerprints alike.
Right.
So it's kind of owning who we are. And I have to tell you, it was really very liberating for me to learn how to sing in front of people. And it was fun. And you get out of your own little ego, get out of your own way.
Yeah.
Then not too long after I started taking the singing lessons, we'll just say I put it out in the universe, and the universe answered my call. Divine intervention. I was invited to to sing with a local, well-known, really great R&B
this is
band.
Interesting. So all this is happening, so you're promoting your card deck that you created with your daughter, and I saw I have a link on Amazon where you can buy it, and you're promoting that, and you're doing these keynote engagements where you're speaking, and from there someone asked you to sing, and so now you said, well, I'm going to find out what's that about. I'm going to get singing lessons. Okay, so you're just moving along with the flow here. I like that.
I think the word that I've learned in this lifetime is allow. Rather than push or rather than run away, it's, confidence is the sexiest thing. Okay. And so, so if you just are confident that the world is going to be okay. Mm-hmm. Are you hearing me, audience? The world is going to be okay. We are going to not only survive this difficult or challenging times, but we are going to thrive.
Yes, that's what I believe.
Yes. And so we all, I hope you will consider just keeping that frequency, your individuality, your soul's essence up, and not go into the fear zone, but into more the sort of looking forward to, excited kind of place to be.
Looking forward to something good happening,
knowing it's on its way already.
Yes.
So we can inspire one another. There's so much fear and more exaggerated division that's gone on over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And what would it be like if we all just held hands?
Yeah. And there's so much invested in that. And we definitely, I don't want to get off track. I want to definitely get back to, because the song, I want to get back to the little bit of the song. But I did, because you're on that topic about division. And we also earlier, in just a few moments ago, discussed about bullying and how the internet is sort of perpetuating this, making, we had I can't remember the young lady's name, it was on 60 Minutes, who was about the documents that she's a whistleblower for Facebook. And her biggest concern was that how Facebook was sort of pushing this agenda where it was making young girls in particular feel bad about their bodies. And that was just so saddening to hear that they knew this information and didn't do anything about it, And so it was just very sort of, I wanted to get your impression on that because of that's in the news. And also you are a family therapist. So I would like to know, how do you think about that? How does that resonate for you?
Yeah. Wow. This is such a huge subject. I'm actually a retired therapist because I've really put a lot of my energy into the sort of off the cuff way of helping people through channeling in the words from their higher heart and expressing that, and also prescribing ways of putting words together for compelling communications that problem solve. But back to the young girls and all of that, I am thrilled that they were, quote, busted. And it's true. We're all, when you're young, you're so vulnerable. You're developing, you want to feel, well, let me put it this way. I once was a crisis intervention counselor at a high school, and there were these two girls that were both bullies, and they had their own gangs, and they couldn't stand one another, and they were so awful. Their behaviors were getting worse and worse. The principal sent them to see me. So I had the two leaders, the arch enemies, sit down, face one another, and hold hands. And I said, look in each other's eyes and repeat after me. When I was just a little girl, all I really wanted was to feel loved, accepted, and connected. And that's all I want now. And they looked, and I said, go ahead. Do you know that they could barely utter those words when they both burst into tears, hugged it out, and left my office.
Wow.
And apologized to one another. So about 2 months later, one of the girls approaches me and she goes, did you hear about our heart circle? I said, what heart circle?
Heart circle.
What are you talking about? She said, well, after, we met with you, we just felt so elated, so happy. And we went and told all of our friends, the other gang members, right? And they created a circle where they have at the time, they said, we have about 65 teenagers that meet on the lawn once a week after school. We call it our heart circle. We hold hands and we each tell a simple truth.
Wow.
So this is what the
basically,
right encouragement.
This is what sort of you're noticing these occurrences. And so you're sort of developing, you're seeing the gift, what you call the higher heart.
Yes. It all boils down to, again, it's let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. So if we have ourselves as our best friend, if we believe in who we are, nobody can trample on that. I will share another situation at another high school, and this was in more of an impoverished, I'll say, area where there was a lot of, issues, poor socioeconomic issues going on, lots of street gangs, et cetera. And so I was sent to a continuation school, where the students were not graduating on time and they had to go back in order to try to work on a GED or get through high school. And a lot of those kids were troubled. So they wanted me to lead a girls group.
Okay.
So I said, okay. I met with these group of probably a dozen teenage girls. And I said, you've got me for 8 weeks. What is it you want to walk away with? How can I help you? This is your group. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'm just going to let you guys talk about it. I'm going to come back in a few minutes. When I returned, they said, well, we talked about it and we all decided we want to learn how to be in a good relationship. And I said, really? And they said, yeah. They said, all our boyfriends or the guys we date, they have this attitude and they say things like, this is my hoe.
Oh, wow.
This is my, B word. This is, and some of the girls were actually being physically harmed and threatened. And it was a tough neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, I love that idea. Love it. So we are, we're going to call our group Ladies First.
Oh, okay.
And it's because it's all going to be about you, girls. and I said, and we're going to start with your relationship with yourself. So I created 2 field trips, one to a large department store, Macy's, and I arranged for all the girls to go up to the boardroom at the top floor where all the department heads were, and where they could learn. I mean, we literally sat at an oval table and they learned how to present on a job interview. Mm-hmm. And given so much insight, if you're going on to a job, go check out the place first before you interview, see what everybody's attitude, what the kind of dress style is, so you can be part of that group because it's, it's your money, whatever. And they said, when you are interviewing, you must make eye contact. And they taught them about body language and lots of skills.
So basically, they're inviting these young girls to Macy's and teaching them how to properly get through a job interview. That's pretty impressive.
And they gave them gift bags. Now, most of these girls came from very poor families. They were all struggling. They gave these girls gift bags of perfume and makeup and all this. And we brought them down to the first floor and they all had their makeup done, professionally. And that was part of the day. So I wanted them to feel pampered. We did another field trip where I arranged at a local beauty college for them to come in. I got parent permission for actual haircuts. A lot of these young ladies had never been into a hair salon.
Wow.
And so they had their hair done, and they also shared with them the prospects of getting into the beauty business, what areas they could do, and how they could hook them up with free educational grants to become hairstylists, makeup artists, manicurists, whatever. Yeah. Estheticians, whatever. And so that was really fun as well. And it was joyful for me because I saw these girls transforming before my very eyes. It didn't take a whole lot. They just needed to know that someone was on their side. We all need to feel understood.
Validated.
Again, yeah. Validated, accepted, loved, connected. That's what the world needs.
For years, I've used medicinal herbs because they are a great way to flush your kidneys and gallbladder, strengthen your immune system, de-stress your heart, and increase proper blood flow. Medicine Man Plant Co. is a Texas-based company that believes in using state-of-the-art best practices enforced by the FDA to ensure the best quality of herbs. Their herbs are blended from the world's best ancient plants and mushrooms, proven effective across thousands of years. Medicine Man Plant Co. uses modern science to powder and compress easy-to-swallow herbal capsules. They are powerful quality herbs that help you stay healthy. Try their Stone Breaker Pill if you want to flush your kidneys and gallbladder. The Blood Pressure Pill will help promote proper blood flow and circulation and also addresses high blood pressure. The Uric Acid Pill will keep your joints and extremities clean and pain-free. So go to www.medicinemanplantco.com to begin receiving herbal medicine like the liver pill, which will power up and protect your liver and detoxify your body, or even the immune pill that'll defend your body and support and strengthen both your innate and active immune systems. Again, that's www.medicinemanplantco.com. So you're having these interactions, through these jobs wonderful jobs you've been having, and you're seeing the impact that you're having in these jobs that you're in your career, and you're saying, okay, I know this means something. I don't quite know yet, but I know there's something deeper going on here.
I had another group, I'll just say real quickly, at another continuation school. It was called U-Turn. And that was, they had, young teens, boys and girls, again, that were struggling. And they wanted me to come in and lecture these students on how to be a good person, how to be a good citizen, how to get, and I said, oh, no. I went and did the research, and I found other students who had graduated from that continuation high school and had made something of their lives. And I invited them to come in and present to this group. And we videotaped each one of those classes. We haven't used them because, we thought, well, there might be something around parent permission or whatever. So we have never used those, but it was amazing. We had one student who came in with her little boy. Isn't he cute? He's adorable. He was like 2 years old. Well, let me tell you, my son is going to need surgeries for the first 7 years of his life every year. He's got a problem with his heart. And
oh, wow.
By the way, no, I don't have a boyfriend now. And the baby daddy is not in the picture. And thank God for my parents stepping in and helping me. And yeah, he's adorable, but don't think for a minute that you're going to start having children and a family before you're really ready. And she went on from her perspective, and she this young lady really stepped up to the plate. She just graduated from college and was starting a career and whatever. So she grew from her experience because perhaps that child gave her the impetus to say, it's not, if I don't care enough about myself, I care enough about my child. That's just one example. Another student who had graduated from that school, guess what? He was in the White House at the time as an intern. I mean, that's amazing. That is amazing. And he said, hey, there is no stopping you if you really want something. And we had another student who had a drug addiction. These are former students. I'm sorry. These were the ones that were now young adults and coming in to share their stories. He had gone through a drug addiction. He was a drug dealer all through high school. He found God, he found Jesus, and he now preaches to others. So it was so beautiful. We had students that volunteered to go into drug counseling. We had students that were so compelled to shift their thought process about what life could offer, what could the possibilities be? Can I move out of my family paradigm and the messages that I received for so many years that were not about what could really be possible if I wanted it.
So what were some of the lessons? And it sounds like there's the things that you experienced and had an impact on those students' lives. But what was how did those experiences, how did they have an effect on you? How did it change your perception?
Well, I myself, I left home at an early age, and I was a very, how do I put it? I was rebellious.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. I was like, okay, I know it's
throw it out there.
Yeah, I was rebellious. And I left home as a teenager without telling anyone. And I moved to Hawaii and, got all these jobs and had all these experiences. And it was really an amazing experience until one day I was walking down the beach and someone said, is your name Kristine? And by that time I was 18. I said, yeah. Oh, well, there's this man looking for his daughter. He's been combing the beach for 6 weeks, and it was my dad. That's how rebellious I was. Okay, so I'm not proud of it, but I just really wanted to take a bite out of the apple of life. And so he talked me into coming home. My parents wanted me to be a nurse. My mom was a nurse. My dad was a cop initially. And I don't like the sight of blood. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what I want to do, because I've always been more of an artist type person. And my older brother said, why don't you join the military? I said, what? He goes, yeah, join the military, see the world. And, and you won't have to be relying on anybody to help you with college or any of it. I said, great idea. So I did. And that was another quite an amazing experience.
Yeah, well, I'm a veteran myself, so I know about the.
Really?
What branch were you in?
I was in the U.S. Army.
Yes. Okay.
And I opted to go to Europe. I opted to go to Europe because I wanted to travel. That was the whole thing. So you can make me whatever you want me to be, and they put me in Signal Corps. In those days. Foxtrot to Blueberry Hill, come in Zulu 9, move your oscillator button, and all this, and pulse code modulation equipment. So they had a way of communicating within different types of communication strands through sound frequency pulse codes. And I learned to drive a 2.5 ton truck and a 5 1/4 Jeep and help erect 75-foot antennas in the middle of the Black Forest. But I never worked a single day doing that after they trained me.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had many other jobs.
When I was in the military and I was in communications, and I remember those night trainings and putting up antennas, putting up 25 feet antennas, in the air and at midnight where there's like no moonlight at all. So, and then someone screaming, hollering because they're falling down on your head because so yeah, I know all about that, about the, the night trainings.
So it was a whole different experience for me coming from, the beach of California, Southern California, to Germany, and being in the military and being totally removed from anyone I knew. And so I had to learn to kind of fend for myself on many levels. I did I would not date the men that I worked with. And I was met with a lot of hostility, including having mud literally thrown on me, and just terrible insults. And it was creepy.
That's part one of my conversation with Kristine Grant, aka Tina Rose. I really enjoyed learning more about the work she does as a relationship expert and how she teaches people, especially couples, how to communicate by tapping into their higher heart. Well, join us Wednesday for part two of my conversation with Miss Kristine Grant, aka Tina Rose. I'll close this episode with a song by Tina Rose from the album Love Letters. As always, you can learn more about this episode, Kristine Grant, Tina Rose, and What's Up with DJ podcast by going to the show description. Until Wednesday, take care.
That tore open my heart. Every word made me cry. To finally know the how, the when, the why. So much passion floods through with those words so true.